Hello everyone, it's Creepy Knee and Tina.
Hi.
Welcome to the channel. We trust that everybody's having a marvelous and a fantastic day and that you guys are in the best of health.
Yes, with health as always being most importante. So we are still on our little thing of coming back and just reiterating, we call it the refresher courses on what to do, how to do it, Portugal, Europe, whatever. Come on down. We got something to tell you. So today is, I'm visiting Portugal, right? But I think I might want to go to other countries in Europe. Can you relate to that?
Yes, I can. That's one of the main reasons why we moved out here, because we're actually in the main, I would say, hub to me, to all the other countries that's in Europe.
Yes.
Once you get here, it's just a plane ticket away from seeing some of the greatest countries you've ever seen in your life.
Right. So you want to see these great countries? What should you do? Well, although I say, hey, enjoy your time in Portugal, come see it, explore the rooted to the tutor, but check out Lisbon and Porto you're flying into. Check out other places because you can fly out of there or you can travel in between and see other places as well. So what should you do? So there's a lot of different ways to get through Europe, right? You can rent a car and drive. And if you do that, just so you guys know, you can drive with your USA license. So if you come to Portugal, we do have an agreement with the United States that you can drive with your United States license. You won't have any problem when you go rent a car. A lot of people wonder about that. Not a problem. You don't need an international driver's license or Portuguese driver's license. You can drive with the USA driver's license. They do have and if you're coming from another country, just check the laws because they do have the same agreement with quite a bit of countries. So,
Right, all but Greece.
not everybody, but yeah. I was about to say, not with everybody.
Not everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so you also, when you're renting that car, the biggest tip that I could give you is make sure you're doing it on, like, we have a special card that we use for travel.
Right.
The reason I have that credit card is because I earn points, double and triple for travel, but also because my trips are insured, meaning if my hotels get canceled, if my airplane tickets get canceled, or I get delayed, I have that insurance on there, and it also has insurance for rental cars. Right. So then when I go to the rental agency and they say, want insurance, because that's how they get you every time. They get you, boy. You'd say, oh, no, because I got it covered through my card that I'm using for this purchase. And then they kind of look at you and go, oh, okay. So make sure you use a card like that. But if you're not going to rent a car, there are also buses and train lines that connect border to border. Yes. Why do I say border to border? Well, there's no train that goes from here directly into Spain, no train that comes from Spain all the way into Portugal. What it will do is drop you at the border or border city, and then usually you'll take like a bus that'll take you to the next train in that new country, and then you can keep going through. So you can do that because there's a lot of people that like that. They love that, traveling.
I can't do it.
It's a little too much for me.
Yeah, you get the train, and you gotta go spend a night, and then come back the next day and wait for the next train to go the rest of the way. Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. But there's also flights. Hello, you can always fly between countries. We do that all the time. The one thing I always look at is Google Flights. I will go into Google Flights. I will not put any time, and I will not put a destination, only where I'm flying from. And so I will put Lisbon in there. So if you know you're going to be in Lisbon, put in Lisbon. If you know you're going to be in Porto, put in Porto. And then see what surrounding countries have flights at, what months, because it might not be the month you're coming that the great deals, but you might still get a decent deal. And then you can usually get like flights, we've seen them from $40 to $100 because, you can go all the way to Germany, and Germany is quite far.
Yes, it is.
So it's going to cost more than just, let's say, I spent $30 when we went to Spain. So, Spain is closer. So there's going to be all kinds of flights, prices, depending on the time of year and how far you're going.
Right.
It is definitely much less than flying within the United States.
You better believe it.
You go from Vegas to like Florida, and you could spend at least $100 and some one way. And here you can spend $100 and some and go all the way to Germany, and that's a round trip ticket. So just saying, that $40 to $100, those are round trip tickets. That's not one way price. So I'd much rather fly in Europe.
And plus other countries.
I'd much anywhere in Europe. I'd
There you
rather
go.
do it. And since you are traveling from an EU country to another EU country, you are technically flying within country, so it's fast and easy. I find.
Right.
I
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
yes it is.
It's so much. It's
so much
easier
easier.
than going from like Vegas to like California
Yep.
through
A
the
lot easier.
airport. That is.
Yep.
Because you're going to use your USA passport, of course, to check in because that is your form of ID. You do not need, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, well, if I'm flying from Portugal to, Spain or Italy, you guys can do it because you have a Portuguese ID. We don't use our Portuguese ID. They will ask for our passport and we use our United States passport, even though we are still in country. But going through airport security, simple,
It's a breeze.
breezy, easy. Like no shoes taken off. No. The only thing I've ever seen you have to take off usually is like your belt.
And that's it. Not a lot
sure
of
it's
changes
in
you
your
go
pocket.
through in your state. Not a lot of changes.
Yeah, it's so simple. The lines, depending on the time of the year, because we usually don't fly on peak season, but depending on the time of the year, there's like hardly no lines. And then sometimes, anyway, we're going through express, so there's nobody. We go straight through, but it's not the craziness. Like he loves, what's your thing? His guilty pleasure is watching these crazy flights for Southwest and Spirit on
Right.
YouTube.
Yeah, and people
freaking out.
And people, the crazy Karens and the Kevins, whoever, on the plane acting crazy, holding everybody up. One person gets on there with attitude or drunk. Now she got to get off the plane, and everybody else got to board. You guys heard these horror stories.
Let's see it here.
Yeah, you want to see that here.
That's insanity. That's better left to the United States. You guys can.
You guys can have it.
Also, since you don't need to go through immigration because you're going from country to country already, when you land, you can go directly to go pick up your baggage if you've checked a bag, or you just grab your onboard bags and exit the plane and go right to spending time and having fun in the country that you're choosing to go to.
Yeah.
Again, I keep on mentioning this, and I'm going to keep on mentioning this. Never rent a car for a rental car from the airport. It's highly, highly
You will get robbed.
expensive. Yes.
You will get robbed.
Go to a local car agency or do what we do. We always get a car service. I use mytransfers.com. And when you look at their prices, so what I always do is I'll do an Uber search, because you can always do an Uber rate search and see, well, how much is Uber from whatever hotel we're staying at from the airport. And when we went to Milan, it was over $80, $90 one way.
One way.
So I was like, because we were far, we were almost an hour
Yeah, what's
from
that
the airport. And I was like, ugh, I'm not paying $180 for Uber. It's not happening. And so then when I went to my transfers.com, it was $47 each way. So we only paid $94. And you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, do I have to hassle with the taxi driver? Oh my gosh, how am I going to get to my hotel? You walk out, the guy's got the time.
With your name on it.
He's waiting on
No,
you.
you.
Yeah. You get ready to leave your
Hotel.
hotel to the airport. I'm always panicky because I'm always thinking we're going to be late or something's going to hold us up. I have called Ubers when we hadn't had the car transfer service. And then what happens?
They cancel on you.
And
so
you're
now
waiting,
You're late.
and
trying
I'm
to get to the
panicking.
airport.
Yeah.
Stress out. Yep.
So at least you know you're not going to miss your flight home, because that driver is going to be calling or texting and saying, hey, I'm on my way, I'm here, or I came early, because the guy in Italy, he was like, you mind if I come early? I was like, no, we are ready, come on.
Yep.
And we went with him.
Because they contracted ahead of time to pick you up.
Yes. So that's an amazing service to use. And we also can't stress enough that when you're visiting, enjoy the local culture through excursions.
Right.
Like, I can't stop saying it. Like, every time we take a trip, I'm always like, let me see if there's a foodie tour. Why? Because if you're in a country you know nothing about, or in a city you know nothing about, you don't know what's the best local places to eat or drink. And when you do these foodie tours, like the first or second night that you're there, you learn everything from a local, and that will help you for the rest of your trip. It's a little thing we always try to do. And my guilty pleasure is wine tours. So if we go somewhere, most of the wine excursions have pick up, drop off. They're taking you all around to either one winery for the day for lunch or multiple wineries. My favorite, You get to meet people, you get to learn about the wines, and you get to sit back and you don't have to worry about anything. You don't got to worry about driving. You don't got to worry about what's going to happen. They tell you, they take you, and it's a fabulous experience.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You
we just had fun in Greece. I mean, we had,
we did.
It was really, really a nice experience for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was fun. So remember to go to apps like Get Your Guide or Vite, or to look for excursions like that, to get deals, sign up. They'll send you when they're having little, sales or things to look for. Enjoy it. You're there. You might as well.
Right. Get your money's worth.
Exactly. There's no reason to pay for a cookie cutter tour, or vacation package. When you can do it, it's just a little effort. Do it yourself. You save yourself a lot of money.
Whole bunch of money. And save yourself a lot of time, too.
Right. And the last thing we want to tell you about is a little thing that people forget. If you're coming out here anyway, Tap Portugal. Now, when you're coming on Tap Portugal and you're putting where you're coming from and where you're going to, Tap Portugal has a way that you can have a stayover in Portugal. Meaning, I'm buying a Tap Portugal flight. I think, you know what? I think I'd like to go to Milan, Italy. So I book from New York, say I'm leaving New York and I'm coming over to Milan, Italy. It will say, do you want to choose a stopover? You click that, Lisbon and Porto pop up because it lets you choose which airport that Tap Portugal goes to in Portugal where you would like your stopover. I say, I think I'll choose Lisbon. It'll say, do you want this before you get to Italy or on your way back from Italy? And it also lets you choose how many days you'd like to stop over and stay in Portugal. So if you have like a 14-day vacation, right? You can say, I want to use 7 or 8 of those in Italy and then the remainder in Portugal. And you can do that. And it's no more cost. It's your round trip ticket. It'll tell you how much it is. Boom. You don't got to worry about it. So there's lots of ways to enjoy all kinds of places in Portugal, but all kinds of places all through Europe. Because if you're here, you're already spending that money. Tickets are expensive. Make the most of your time and enjoy it.
And once you get here, you can go for it. But Tap Portugal, that's the only airline I've ever heard of that would do that. Give you a stopover like that.
Because it's their hub.
This
is their hub, yes.
Yeah, this is their hub. So hold on to the information. Know before you go. Remember, get your vacation. Enjoy.
Yes.
So, in the meantime, between the time, always remember that life is to be enjoyed.
Yes. And as always, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and make sure to ding that bell for notifications on videos like this and others.
Until the next video, peace.